Have you ever wondered where honey comes from? Well, for World Bee Day, I've teamed up with Eat Farm now. And I want to tell you how honey is made. Hello, I'm Gruffydd Rees and I'm an owner of a honey company based in South Wales. And I'm at the home farm, and this is my main bee sites where I suppose most of my honey comes from if you look at all my sites individually. Now let's come over here and we'll take a closer look at the beehive. So we've got two types of beehives here. This is a timber beehive, that there is a polystyrene hive, but the two of them works in exactly the same way. So we've got the big box down the bottom, that's where the bees live, that's where the queen lives more importantly, and that's where she lays all the eggs and the new brood emerges. You need plenty of worker bees to produce lots of honey. Now, those bees, they go out and they'll forage on flowers around your area, and you might have seen some bees on flowers, something like this maybe. The bees will go there in vast numbers, and when a bee comes back, say a bee has gone to a field, she's found a fantastic field or someone's garden that's full of flowers, that bee will come back to the hive, fly into the box, and then she'll do a figure of 8 dance. So she'll do a little wiggle dance to tell the other bees where those flowers are. Then all those bees will go to that flower field and they'll collect the nectar. Now, if we look at the flower, it doesn't look very special, smells very nice, but there's lots of nutrients in there. Now, bees get two things from flowers. One, they get the nectar, and it's that nectar that they convert into honey. So the nectar goes into the mouth, down into the stomach, the bees adds a couple of enzymes onto that, then they bring that nectar or honey back out and then store it in the frames, and that is the honey that we know and love. So a little bit of a disgusting fact there is honey is actually bee vomit. It's actually been in the bee stomach and then it's come back out. But don't worry about that, their vomit is not the same as human vomit. Now, another thing that the bees need to get from the flowers is pollen. Now, you might have picked up a flower, rubbed it on your hands, and you can see the colour on your hands, and that's the pollen. Well, the pollen is very high in protein, and that's what the bees need to produce protein to feed to the larva. So the queen will lay an egg, the bees will feed that larva, then that egg, pollen, super high in protein. It's fantastic food to grow, and it's the same as if you're growing cattle. When they're young, you want to put the protein into them to get them to grow big and strong, and it's no difference when you're talking to bees. That pollen is very, very high in protein, and that's the life cycle of how the honey comes from the field into the hive, and they store it up in these boxes. Now, to get the honey from there into the jar, it's quite a simple system really. At the end of summer, I'll remove these top boxes. Hopefully there'll be a few more boxes there by then. I'll take these honey frames back to the farm. I'll put them in a spinner. You might have seen a big spinner. I'll cut the wax off the frames. I'll put the frames in the spinner. I spin that round really fast, and then I filter the big bits of beeswax out of the honey, and then that goes directly into the jar. It's a simple process. We don't add anything to the honey, we don't take anything away from the honey. The honey that we buy today, especially from bee farmers like myself, it's not adulterated in any way, it's completely natural, and that's how honey is made. So hopefully you've enjoyed this little tutorial on how honey is made, and hopefully once you know that, you want to go back home now, plant lots of flowers for the bees so that you can produce your own honey, whether it's not your own bees, but you can help another beekeeper or a wild colony produce honey. So my message for this video is make sure you plant some wildflowers. We don't cut the lawn every week. Let the flowers come through, leave a little bit for the bees, and make sure we've got enough honey for everyone. Thanks for watching and hopefully you enjoyed this video.